Autism, ADHD, as we know it now, it's a neurodevelopmental disorders.
They look at me differently. They look at him differently because it's like a stigma. Being on the spectrum is a stigma.
My son used to tell me that if me see I used to say he ain't got no problem. But it's hard to accept, but you have to accept it.
I moved to North Sound 14 years ago, a vibrant seaside community. There is a saying, it takes a village. Sometimes it's just not true. This is the life story about Lenford.
Morning, Mar. Morning.
My son Lenford, he was born on the 10th of November 1992. He could not have speak until he was 7 years of age. Because when I do find out, I went to the doctor to check him, and they told me he's a special need.
It is a number or combination of symptoms that go together that you may see early identified in children. Some children in extreme circumstances are nonverbal, have difficulty inhibiting their emotions or displaying their emotions. Some kids may have difficulty maintaining eye contact, what we call functional communication.
As the officer responsible for special education, I met him and his mom. At that point, he had challenges with speech and behavior and that sort of thing. So we were able to we had the services, a speech therapist come into a private physician's office.
They put him in a program, like the sailing program. Miss Dawson, Allison and Colin, they put him in a sailing program. He loved it.
So I don't remember dates. Lorna can fill in the dates. BVI Water Sports Centre was set up in Seacows Bay, and even before that, we were working with Lorna and Eslyn Henley to get special needs children and adults on the water. And then at the same time, with Lorna's help, we set up Special Olympics, of which sailing was one of the sports, the sports that was included in the Special Olympics BVI.
And actually, the first venture we had with Special Olympics was taking a team to Puerto Rico for the regional Special Olympics tournament in 2010. I think that was 2010.
Football. Yeah.
Football, yeah.
Yeah.
So we took a team to Puerto Rico and we played football. And then coming off of that, the World Special Olympics was in 2011. So we built on that team and basically pulled more better sailors from the set of students that we were working with, both able-bodied and those with special needs. And we were able to take a team to Greece in 2011 for Special Olympics. So Lenford was a part of that team.
Lenford and his helm, Delroy, were entered in a class of boat and within racing, which involved high-end skills. So it involved asymmetric spinnakers and trapeze use, which is, from their point of view, that's why they sailed, because that's the best fun there is. But from an outsider's point of view, it's highly skilled stuff.
Someone on the spectrum may be a savant in some areas that we really missed. They may be music savants. And for example, the person that we're speaking about who became a savant in sailing and who went on to win a gold medal on the highest world stage. That's amazing.
Amazing indeed. But what was more shocking was that no one in North Sound seemed to know about it. When she heard that I am making a film about autism, Natasha came forward and said she wanted to help.
Nathan is 8 years old. He is on the spectrum. He has autism. These kids don't ask for it. These adults don't ask for this. It's something that happened. What are you going to do? Run away from it? No, you can't run away from it. You have to face it.
We have seen a rise in terms of autism diagnosis, and that has been seen globally. And those numbers reflect what we're seeing around the world. There's not a cure for autism if you're asking for a cure like the common cold. However, there are so much interventions that allow you to be able to help you treat autism and help people function even much better.
Me and Lenford live together. He clean around the yard, anything I got to do. He helped me. He got his 3 dogs. He love animals. He love pets. I push him now because I say I don't know when I will leave him because things has changed. So I just teach him how to handle himself, how to cook. He could cook for himself. I just send him in the valley to pay my bills. You know, just carry him like 2 or 3 times, and I show him where to go to to pay the bills them. So he could do that. He fix like these doors. He fixed them for me. His hobby is carpentry.
The teachers at Brigada Flex Primary are the real gem. They are the real gem.
Well, I would say that we're getting better. We're getting better, but there's still ways to go in terms of supporting persons with differentiated learning, mental health disorders, and specifically autism. But we're seeing that from a governmental level, that the Social Development Department is now instituting and has for several years autism school, that parents and families have somewhere that their children can not only learn, grow, but be assessed. There's also private clinics that have now adopted the ADOS and other tests to be able to screen properly for autism. And there's also speech therapists and other private individuals who are coming together to help parents. But also, which is great, there are a number of programs and connections with schools that to help children learn better in the environment in terms of homeschooling, because social interaction may be a problem, but there's more to go. I won't sit here and say that there's not any more that we can go. In terms of the community understanding of inclusion, the community understanding of acceptance and not judging.
Business is another aspect that we've had to deal with say, for example, Lenford on the workplace, that businesses can have an influence on is supporting persons and making their work environment more inclusive. Because very often a lot of bullying takes place on the jobs.
He used to work in the water and sports area, but he changed changed his position, like a handyman work. Like he does go do the garbage, like throw away the garbage and so like that. But he prefer there than go between because the way they just treat him. I don't. It's how they just trouble him, call him names, all kind of names. They just call him idiot, all and kind of a things. He just come home and tell me he ain't going back to work. He ain't want to go back there. I just have to encourage him and tell him, you can't study them. You got to go. You understand? It's them will be in work and you ain't have no work to do.
Sorry, I choked up a little bit being able to talk about this last thing, because when you go through life, it's hard enough if what you want to call regular. But everyone goes through challenges. If you're watching this right now, you may have challenges at home or at work. You may have some grief because somebody you lost. You may have some anxiety about your future. Well, just think about it. At some point in time, you'll be able to get help and continue a normal routine. But there's some people who are diagnosed with mental health and mental disorders that they don't have that opportunity. All of us think differently, operate differently, and our brains process things a lot differently. That doesn't make us any better. We have a gold medalist that had to go through to work, and at Fridays he used to wear a purple sock in recognition of autism and recognition of his cause. But some of his co-workers made fun of him because of a difference. But he had to struggle through, and it was great that a fellow co-worker who wasn't diagnosed with autism but has his own challenges says, you know what? I'm gonna wear a purple sock with you. That's the type of community that we need.
Lenford's fight for acceptance continues. His mom is his ally. May their life inspire others to wear awareness on mental health. Autism is never an obstacle to success.
Saltwater Lake, Party Town. Saltwater Lake, Party Town. At the bitter end of a hop through the Virgin Islands, we sailed all the way east, then touched dock and smiling. Sound pressed waters, green muscled steep hill shore. Party Town. Necklace of island reef, held ship of line and pirate long before. Saltwater Lake, Party Town.